Hey there, I am on a long road trip, and what you're watching is all the behind the scenes stuff as I go from town to town, day to day, hotel to hotel. So I get a lot of requests for, how I travel and places I stay, places maybe I eat, and then, what it's like to go on a road trip. So that's what this is going to be. It's going to be quite a longer video, and I have released all the videos of which I'm getting ready to film. Literally just started the trip. And so you probably watched videos before this. And if not, then as I go through, I'll kind of reference what video where I'm at, So when you're doing YouTube and you're going out to explore, a lot of times you might film multiple videos at the same time. And so in this 10-day stretch or so, I'm going to film 9 videos, including the one that we're doing right now. So it's a lot of trying to stay organized, and as I go through this process, I'll kind of explain what's going on. But also, you'll see some things in this video that aren't in the other videos, some of the things in between the places. And right now, I just left Wichita, and I have about 280 miles to where I'm gonna go today. I'm going to Colby, Kansas to go to a museum, and then I'm gonna go up to Oberlin, Kansas to stay the night in a historic hotel, and that used to be a bank. So anyways, that's what I'm doing today. I'll certainly give more detail about my entire trip as this video goes, but that's the introduction. So let's hit the road and head to Northwest Kansas. I just got finished in Colby, Kansas. Quick video making, about a museum. You just go to the museum and you explore around. And then I actually went downtown and filmed a little bit around Colby too. So I've been through Colby a lot. I've never gone to the downtown because I always pass through on Highway 70. So, but yeah, it was a really good museum. I wasn't quite sure when I walked in how good it was going to be, and it turned out to be really good. So I think that'll be a nice video. Maybe you've already watched it. Like I said, I'm about a month behind you as I'm experiencing the videos as you've already seen them. I'm staying up in a town called Oberlin, Kansas. Pretty small town, and there's not a lot of eating choices. I think there's one kind of bar and grill that's open, and so I was kind of looking for some other places to eat. And north of Colby is a town called Atwood, and so I'm going to go that direction. And I noticed there's a restaurant with an interesting name that I have to eat at. So I'm gonna stop here at Atwood, and I'll show you what I'm gonna eat. Dinner was good. The Wise Owl was not busy, but it was a good, felt kind of like home cooking, So I'll give it a thumbs up. So heading over to Oberlin to stay for the night. I think there's about 800 people that live there. I'm actually on Highway 36, which is, I'm going east, but tomorrow I'm going to be coming back towards Atwood on this road, because I'm going to explore this road a little bit more tomorrow. I say more because I did Highway 36 a couple months ago in northeastern Kansas, and so we're going to explore it a little bit coming this way. So it's really pretty out here, but yeah, I'm going to head on over to my hotel, which is in a historic building, I guess you could say. So let's go check it out.
when I was working for my brother, we determined it's not safe to drive the right way. And then there's some equipment we have, so it has that wire across, there's a wire across. And I'd be like, so you can't see the road at all. It's like, four ways to lane.
Well, that's pretty much the end of day one, and this is a pretty nice hotel. I'm glad I got it. I almost went to Norton, which is like the next bigger town to the east, and I was gonna stay at a place that was like $60, and I saw this one and I thought, I'm gonna check it out, even though it's $130. So a little more than I usually would like to pay, but I am gonna get breakfast out of it, so to me, that's probably worth like $15. So I guess I'd put this as like $115 value, and it's cool. So here's the story behind this building. So it says 1886 bank on it, on the outside. And it was a bank for only 8 years, till 1894. And then in 1894, they made it the courthouse. Actually, I was walking up the stairs and they have a photo from when it was the courthouse. It said courthouse on it instead of where it says bank. And then that was, courthouse for a couple decades, and they built another courthouse. Today's courthouse is literally across the street. And they have this really awesome little downtown. I've not been here before. So it turns out the population is 1,644, so twice as big as I thought. And when I was driving into town, I was like, oh, this is bigger than I thought, just kind of like it's a bigger footprint. And, but that's a good thing that there's, a decent population up here. I'm gonna learn more about it tomorrow, because this is gonna be the first town in a video that I'm doing tomorrow about Forgotten Kansas, like the northwest part of Kansas up here. So, but yeah, this is really cool. I didn't, I booked it online. I wasn't quite sure it would just be a room or, or what. I did get an actual key. This is my key. So that's cool. If you get lost, you can figure out, where you're at, where you gotta go. But yeah, this is great. A little bit large for what I need, but this will do just fine. Good way to kick off the trip in a historic hotel. My night's not quite done. Today is Wednesday, so I have a video coming out tomorrow, which obviously you watched. It was about Chautauqua, Kansas, and Elgin, Kansas. This is way back. The video would have been released in almost the middle of June, and so I got to finish that video. I'm still working on it. That's what people don't always realize about when you're making these YouTube videos. If you're the one editing them, you got to do it sometime. And I worked on it this morning and didn't quite get it done, but I got to finish it up tonight. Luckily, there's some good internet here and I can upload it tonight. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. And but yeah, that's what I'm gonna do tonight. And I'm gonna relax because tomorrow's gonna be a pretty long day. Gonna end up in Colorado, but I'll talk more about that and kind of the rest of the trip tomorrow. Oh, I forgot. I was gonna summarize at the end of each day how much money I've spent. So I'm not gonna include food because I feel like food is just a variable for anybody. Everybody's different. So some people pack food, some people eat out and expensive. I'm probably somewhere in the middle. So I'm not including food. So I spent $246 today. $100 on gas. I was on E when I left. So $100 on gas and $130 on the room, and I spent $16 at the museum. So $246. Hopefully I'm not spending $246 every day, but that's what I started on day one. And I drove 358 miles, and I don't expect to drive that far every day. So yeah, $246, 358 miles, day one. Good morning. It's Thursday, June 18th, and I just got up and kind of walked around a little bit and had breakfast. So they give you breakfast here at the Landmark Inn, the old bank and courthouse here in Oberlin. So I'm going to show you some kind of my plans for this trip and kind of show you what it's like to try to make 9 videos on one trip. It takes a little bit of planning. So let me show you a little bit about it. So what I do when I start is I literally start with an old-fashioned map that I printed out that was blank that I start writing on. You can see all these little numbers. There's little notes and things like that. And for me, I'm trying to plan out my 10 smallest towns of Colorado. That's what the orange colors are. And then the blue are some other videos I made, like, you know, there's a museum and there's a state capitol. And then there's things like that. And then I make a little bit of an itinerary. And obviously you can see up here where I have started. My original itinerary was today to go to the Prairie Museum, but I ended up doing that yesterday. And so today now I'm gonna do this US 36 up here, which is kind of US 36 and a little bit of other places, and then going to Holyoke, which actually that is where I'm gonna stay. I got a hotel there tonight. And so it's all very, you could say, tentative down through here, because it could rain, things could happen, things could take longer. So I have an extra day there if needed. But my plan is to get back to Wichita on the 27th or the 28th. Well, I'm done exploring for the day in Kansas and just finished up at the Tri-State Point. Kind of interesting. It was very out of the way. Kansas, Nebraska, and Colorado. And now I'm in Colorado, I think. Honestly, I don't know. Yes, I'm in Colorado. Because I went in all 3 states in a real short little period of time there. So, interesting day. It was a long day, so it's 5:30 in Colorado. That means it's 6:30 in Kansas. So I started at 9 o'clock this morning. That's 9.5 hours of exploring, and then I still got to drive a little ways. So people wonder how long does it take to make a long video. You know, it's a full day and then some, and that doesn't even include the editing that will have to happen at some point. So, but I'm gonna stop for some food. I had some breakfast at the hotel this morning, and then I basically snack during the day. I usually don't eat too much in the middle of these days, so I'm gonna stop here, and I think it's called Ray, W-R-A-Y. I'm driving up to Holyoke, if that's how you say it, and got a hotel up there. So let's see if we can find somewhere, kind of a local place for dinner, and then check into our hotel. Sorry for the glare. The sun's starting to get a little lower over here. But good dinner. The 4th and Main Grill, I think it was called. Kind of hard to figure out where to go, but once I figured out it was upstairs, and it was good. I didn't know if it'd be like a bar that had food, but it was nice. Good steak. Definitely after a long day of driving around, having some good healthy food hits the spot. So about 30 miles up to Holyoke, and I'm staying at a cobblestone. That'd be funny, Cobblewood. Cobblestone and in Suites. There's a lot of those around here, and it's a little more than I wanted to pay, but there wasn't a lot of options. It actually it's about the same as I paid last night. So, but it's right next to where I'm starting tomorrow. So let's go check out the hotel, and I'll tell you what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Productive day, very busy day, like I mentioned earlier, like a long day. So kind of tired. It's Thursday, and I had a video go out today, and so whenever I have a video go out and I'm traveling, it's kind of tough because you can't reply to all the comments. And so I might do some of that tonight, is looking at some of the comments and replying, but there's a lot on the first day, and I just looked, I have 37 emails. So it's sometimes you can't reply to things as quick as you want to. And I'm a coach at Wichita State track and field. So a lot of those are things I got to go through and prioritize with that. But yeah, it's a good day. I'm in Holyoke, Colorado, county seat of Phillips County. So 2,300 people. And it was named after a town in Boston with the same name, or not in Boston, in Massachusetts with the same name. And I guess there was a guy in England that his last name was Holyoke, and he discovered, or he named a mount, like Mount Holyoke somewhere. And that's what the Massachusetts town was named after. And probably somebody from there moved out here and settled, and that's what this town is. So it's interesting how towns get their names. But nice little town, nothing, driving through, it wasn't like spectacular downtown. There's a courthouse there, solid courthouse. It's not like some of the old, really cool looking courthouses, but, looked pretty solid. So tomorrow, let me show you what I'm doing. So I'm way up there where it says number 5, because I'm actually going to right there on says the 19th, Paoli. It's the 5th smallest town in Colorado. So as I'm gonna go do where all those orange numbers are, the 10 smallest towns in Colorado, the first one I'm gonna visit is tomorrow. It is just down the road here from Holyoke. That's why I got this hotel. After that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You think, well, you can stay in Denver, but I'm actually gonna come back to Denver. So I'm gonna go out towards where the 0 is. So I'm gonna go somewhere west of Denver. I don't know where. It's very mountainous in that part of Colorado, if you're not familiar. I also might look for some, as I wrote on my notes here, look for STDTs, that's small town downtowns. Oh, that's actually up there on the 19th. And that's where I cruise through downtowns of incorporated places with less than 5,000 people. So probably between number 5 in Denver, I'll look for a few towns there, and then try to find somewhere to stay out here. Today I spent $179, so $40 on gas, and $139 on this room. So a little bit better than yesterday, about $70 cheaper than yesterday. Drove 218 miles. So even though when you look at the map, it's probably 120 miles from where I started to where I ended, lots of up and down and sideways and back and forth, and 218 miles. So 218 miles in like 11 hours, not making much progress very quickly, but I enjoyed it. it was a good day. I'm gonna get some rest, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good morning from Holyoke, Colorado, and was doing a little bit of trying to figure out where to end up today, and have made some change of plans. So I was gonna go way out kind of northwest, and been trying to figure out how to visit this town of Carbonate, which has 0 people, but hasn't had anyone there since the 1880s. It was going to be like the ending of my 10 smallest towns video, and I've emailed a contact person, and called both phone numbers, and no one has called me back. I've been trying for weeks, and in order to go there, it would add an extra day to my trip. There's no hotels anywhere close, and the closest thing that's a hotel is like $200 a night for not a very good hotel, and I don't even know if I'd be able to visit. It's down a very winding road. It would take hours to get there. So I've decided not to go. I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I kind of pride myself in going to every possible place. But I am a little bit of a time schedule to try to get back to Wichita by a certain date, and doing all that and getting out there and really finding nothing. And I have looked at the Google images, like Google Earth, and there really isn't much there. So I think I can go ahead and make that video and kind of make a little addendum to the video, because I just don't think it's gonna be worth it. So what I'm gonna do is stay in Denver for the next 3 nights. And there's a lot of stuff to do there. I need a work day to do some editing. And so that's what I'm gonna do. So I got an Airbnb in Denver tonight for the next 3 nights to kind of make it a little more comfy. And then today I'm gonna visit my first 10 smallest towns video, which is gonna be number 5, which is just down the road here from Holyoke. And then between here and Denver, I'm gonna maybe try to find some of the small town, downtown places like I was mentioning last night. So that's what I'm gonna do today. A little more leisurely than yesterday, where I had so many things to do and so many places to go. But that'll be kind of nice. I got a good night's sleep, sleep score of 92, thanks to the iWatch or whatever they call it. So I was definitely tired. So let's go visit Paoli and then head towards Denver. And I'm in a new shirt. Got the Abe Lincoln shirt on instead of the Alma, Colorado shirt that I had on in the beginning of this video. And so, hanging it up over here. The reason is because I want continuity in the videos. And so as I'm filming this over the course of like 10 days, when I do the 10 smallest towns, I'm on camera for a little bit on each of those towns. I want to have the same shirt on so people aren't thinking about it. And if if they think about it at all, they realize there's no way you can do this in one day. But there is something about just subconsciously there being the same shirt and it feeling like the same day, or just feeling like a road trip. And I've done this every time I've done one of these videos, and people in the comments will be like, dude, how did you do that in one day? So and then I go, yeah, it wasn't one day, but I wore the same shirt. And then some people get mad about it, like, there's no way you can do that in one day. Like, it was like I was trying to act like I do it in one day. Obviously I wasn't trying to act like it, but so anyways, that's why I'm changing shirts, because this shirt, if I don't wash it, if it's just in my car for a while, it'll get a little grungy after 10 towns. So the other thing too I was going to mention is, I got to keep track. I've got a clipboard and my itinerary. Now I'm starting to keep track because I'm going to start filming various videos all at the same time. And so it gets hard to keep track of. But then once it's done, it's like, oh man, that was cool. I got all these videos done, and they were kind of, you piece them together in the editing and it works out well. So that's part of the challenge and the fun of taking a trip and trying to make multiple different themed videos as you go. taking a little detour to go down to Akron, Colorado for a small town downtown little segment. Man, it feels like Kansas out here. I mean, it's beautiful, fairly flat, although I know we're probably at like 3,000 to 4,000 feet altitude, but yeah, it just really feels like Kansas out here. And I think I said that before, but it's pretty interesting how different Colorado can be from one part to the next. We're in Arvada, Colorado, which is kind of on the western side of Denver. And yeah, let me show you around this Airbnb. It's pretty cool. We got a map here. Looks like there's some people from Wichita have stayed here. So that's pretty cool. All the guests. But yeah, there's quite a bit to see here. I'm gonna kind of show you some details that maybe you wouldn't see just walking through. I love the globe. Always love a good globe. But I think the person that runs this must be similar to my age. There's a bunch of tickets and concerts that certainly would be when I would have been growing up as well. Dwight Gooden poster, so it's kind of interesting. There's a bunch of WWF figurines. I was big into wrestling back when I was a little kid. The Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant days. Yeah, a lot of bobbleheads there. So we have like sports stuff, but it's all different teams. Baseball card collection, which is pretty cool to see. These would have been all in years I would have been collecting. And what really drew me to this was Eric Davis. That was my hero growing up. I've got hundreds of his baseball cards. Oh, let's see, we've got Dale Murphy with the Braves. Dominique Wilkins was my favorite basketball player. So once again, kind of same age group there. It's just really cool sports posters and like these comics. I don't know about these. Interesting. That is Ohio State, which, funny enough, that stadium is where I won the 400-meter dash in 1992, and looks a little different there and now than it did back when I was running because they had a track around it. But yeah, good memories. So we have a pool table. Certainly going to partake in that at some point. Okay, back over here. Mike Tyson Punch-Out picture. Played that a million times. Galaga. Love Galaga. Love to see if it turns on. Not sure if it's plugged in or not. And then we've got Florida Gators. So just kind of all around the place. That's Tony Gwynn, great baseball player. And we got Mark McGuire and Will Clark. So the A's. So there's a little bit of California theme. And then on the walls here, Grateful Dead, which I was never a big Grateful Dead fan. Honeysuckle Rose with Willie Nelson. Bruce Springsteen. And then, of course, if you're here, you got to have some John Denver, Rocky Mountain High. Yeah, Great comfy couch right there. So very cool spot to hang out for the next 3 days. So I'm gonna spare you the photo or the videos of my dinner. I just got something quick with Chipotle tonight. So just one of those deals where went to the grocery store, got a few things, and then went over to Chipotle and ate and came back to relax a little bit. So gonna do some editing. It's Friday night. Definitely got to get some work done and finish a video for Sunday. I am planning to, while I'm here, see the History Museum, go to the state capitol on Monday. So I can't do that over the weekend. Obviously it was closed today. And then a couple other things on one of the smallest towns in Colorado, or in Denver. And then some of the maybe weird Colorado, and maybe even a small town downtown or two. So kind of figured out, but I got to get this video edited first, and that'll be kind of the priority. I'm in this town, Arvada, like I mentioned when I got here. Like I said, it's basically in Denver. You would never know that it's not Denver, but I guess they have an old town area. So maybe tomorrow night I'll go check that out, depending on how much work I get done and what I end up doing tomorrow. So maybe see some historic buildings and things like that won't be in any of the other videos. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Pretty boring. It's 7:37 and I'm already in for the night. So I'll wrap this up and see you tomorrow. Well, we're getting the day started a little bit late today. I had a little bit of a, minor issue with my phone. No cell phone service. Anyways, long story short, hopefully it's getting worked out, but I still don't have cell phone service, but I'm still able to use my phone to do some editing and things like that. So this morning I finished up editing for a video that's going out tomorrow. And then, yeah, I can use Wi-Fi. It's about all I got right now. So I'm gonna head out and check out the smallest incorporated town in Colorado, and it's actually here in Denver. So I'm gonna go do that. I might go over to the History Museum today. I don't know, a little bit later in the day that I want to get started. But yeah, go check out a couple things and then probably head back and play some Galaga. Arvada Old Town. High score. Well, it's Sunday. I got up and went to George's Cafe here in Arvada, and it was really good. Had a little steak and eggs. They have an interesting display of all the Olympic, like little pictures of the Olympic, I guess, logos. And I found out something that I guess I should have known, but I didn't know this, that Denver in 1976, they had been awarded the Winter Olympic Games in 1970 for 1976. And they ended up refusing them because there was concern that it was gonna be too much for the city, I guess, to handle. And so they ended up having them in Austria, which they had them in 1964. But, so it turned out Denver was the first and only city to be awarded Olympic Games and then not have it. or refused to have it. So it's interesting. I was born in '74, so that was 2 years after I was born. I don't remember any of that, but I'm surprised I didn't know that. It's interesting. So I don't know if that was big news back in the day, but I found that to be kind of an interesting thing because they had posters. I found them. They had one at the breakfast place and at the museum. They had these Denver 76 posters, and I was, without really like learning about it, I was like, I wonder what that's about. Anyways, so today is going to be you could say stay-at-home day. I need to do a bunch of editing and planning. The next week is really going to be a lot. And so trying to figure out where to stay tomorrow night and the next night. And things are very expensive out where I'm going, and they're very hard to get to. There's a lot of kind of mountainous driving. So Tuesday appears to probably be the hardest day of the trip, just because of the places I'm trying to go and where I got to go like at the end of the day to get to where I want to start the next day. So got that kind of working on today. I did get a big high score on Galaga. Like I doubled the old high score. Might play some pocket billiards here today. Other than that, a lot of editing, maybe watch some TV or something like that. Excuse me. And just laying low and resting up for the big week ahead. Stick to track.
Are on the minds of many. So earlier in the sponsored segment, we spoke with Dr. Gabriel Silversmith.
Doesn't matter if you had injured it last week or it's been 6 months. And for those patients that are really interested in /soccer, that's bearimplant.com/soccer.
Great information. Thank you so much. This program contains segments paid for by Mayak Orthopedics, Now Foods.
Well, I had an interesting morning. I was a guest on Great Day, Colorado, here in Denver, that was cool. They're gonna put that out in a couple weeks from when I filmed it, so it would have already been out by the time this came out. But it was cool. The lady that did the interview, she did track as well, so we had a little connection there with track. And those people are such professionals, because the person that emailed me about all this, they, talking about like what kind of questions to ask. And the lady that did the interview, she was reading it for the first time almost as we did it. She kind of looked at it just quickly, and it's just such a pro. Those people do that for a living every day. And so it's very impressive. It's like when you see somebody that's really good at a sport or something, they're really skillful. You see it up close and you realize, dang, these people have high level skills. They practice it a lot. So then I went over to the state capitol and went in there and finished up what I had kind of started the other day. So got inside, went up into the dome, which was cool. Not as much historical stuff in there as like Oklahoma and Kansas, but still, it was nice, very nice inside for sure. So now I'm heading to Buena Vista. That's where I'm staying tonight, and I'll maybe try to find some small town, downtown places, but it's just 100 and so miles, and that's where I'll stay tonight. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day, so get there and relax a little bit, but maybe to get a little bit of work done along the way here. Like I said, finding a couple small town, downtown subjects. So we'll see. But yeah, next stop, Buena Vista at the Super 8, which costs $200. And it's like, it was the cheapest decent hotel around. So it is what it is out here in Colorado in the summer. Tonight's meal, lasagna. Well, it's a beautiful morning to do some ghost town hunting, and I'm up very early. It's only 6:52. I'm already on the road. That's pretty early for me. It's a little chilly. It's in the 40s actually. I think it's going to get up to in the 70s around here. Some of these high altitude places, it's a lot cooler. But that's why I come up here in the summer, because in the winter, a lot of these places wouldn't be available to watch, or to check out. So I'm going to go up to Independence, which is, I think, on a somewhat of a main. It's on the road to Aspen, but it does look very curvy at some places. And then I'm going to drop back. I'm going to come back towards Buena Vista, and then take a back road out to see a couple more ghost towns. And then after that, drive far south past Salida, I think that's what it's called, down to Bonanza, which is one of the 10 smallest towns. It's actually the second, number 2 on my list. So And then after that, a long drive west to where I'm staying tonight, which is a pretty cool place. It looks like, at least online. But so a lot of driving today. That's why I got up early. Being 1 hour back helps. So in Wichita right now, it's almost 8 o'clock. So this doesn't feel, I'm trying to stay on the same time zone. I think that's good. But it's a beautiful drive. Got the mountains surrounding me. And yeah, let's get to it. Well, I'm done for the day. It was, tough at times, but it was also was a lot of fun. I actually went and documented 5 places, 4 ghost towns for a video about ghost towns, and then the second smallest town in Colorado, Bonanza. And so, I didn't know what to expect with Bonanza. I thought there might be more historical stuff there, but it just was mostly, they were old buildings, old houses, but it felt like more than 17 people. Maybe it's just, a lot of empty houses there. So, but I flew my drone back and saw like an old mining building and a mining chat pile or something like that. So that was pretty interesting. But now I got about 3-hour drive left going to Montrose, and I'm going to stay in a pretty interesting hotel. I'll show you when I get there. And I'm going to be mostly on US 50. And that'll bring back some good memories, as I did that whole trip a few years ago to the west. And I think this is a pretty scenic part of it. Unfortunately, I'll be driving right into the sun, so that, that's always unfortunate. but pretty solid day, and some of the driving was really tough. There was the 3 towns in the middle. I was driving between 5 and 15 miles an hour. It was so rocky, it was crazy. But the tires held up. Got new tires on the car for this trip, and luckily that held up, and we're now on asphalt all the way to Montrose. Fish and chips. Good morning. Had a good night's sleep at the old school lodge, and ready to head south to the $1 Million Highway today. Should be interesting. I'm gonna take a while to get there, a little bit. I'm gonna stop for breakfast. I think there's a town called Ridgeway. It's just a few miles south of Montrose here. And then from there, I'm gonna go, I'm pulling out. There's a little bit of traffic this morning, a little rush hour and south of Montrose. Not really. But, oh, by the way, the hotel was great. Kind of a, obviously, unique situation. No frills in terms of, like, there's not breakfast or things like that. And it was really quiet. Big room, high ceiling, very comfortable bed, incredibly comfortable pillows. I haven't thought about that in a while, but yeah, really comfortable. I actually brought a pillow, brought a towel, you can see, brought a pillow and a blanket, and I haven't had to use the pillow yet, but maybe I should have, because those are really good pillows. And so anyway, so good place to stay, but they don't, like I said, they don't have breakfast or anything, so got to go get breakfast. And then I'm going to drive about an hour. So it's kind of crazy. The $1 Million Highway is this famous road, right? And it's, but I want to start from the south and go to the north, so I finish in Ouray, which is where I'm going to stay tonight. And in order to do that, I have to drive the $1 Million Highway the other way. So I'm going to drive south through it, go to the town of Silverton, start there, and then drive back to Ouray. And then I actually am driving back to Silverton the next day. So I'm going to be on the $1 Million Highway a bunch, even though I've never been on it. But I'm only going to document it once. Maybe I'll document it 3 times for you all on the behind the scenes here. But that's the magic of making YouTube videos that people don't realize. But it's kind of smoky here this morning. I've been listening to the local radio. I like to do that when I travel. And I guess maybe in Utah they had some big wildfires, and the smoke is carried over to Colorado. And it's smoky this morning. Maybe that's normal here, but I could smell it in the air, so it's kind of interesting. Anyways, off to get some breakfast and then head down the $1 Million Highway. Greenwoods and Ridgeway, man, unbelievable. Really, that's the best breakfast I've had this whole trip. And they said you have to get a biscuit, which I usually wouldn't get, like a biscuit. It was $5 for a biscuit, but it was worth it. I've never had a $5 biscuit, but it was really good. Well, I made it to Ouray. I keep wanting to say Ouray, just the way it looks. Made it to Ouray. It was a pretty spectacular day. Both the towns of Silverton and Ouray were really awesome. And obviously the $1 Million Highway was great too. I mean, spectacular. So I got a lot of editing to do today. So I got in pretty early, got some food, and it's like 4:30 right now. And the room it's okay. 200 and something bucks. They have robes, so that's nice. But it's fine. They have a pool. I probably won't partake because there's like 1,000 people in the pool. But yeah, it's fine. And I'll be heading back to Silverton tomorrow. But yeah, I'll probably go get some dinner later, so I'll show you that, and then get some rest. Actually, I have a pretty nice view out here at the river and the mountains. So I'm an idiot. I thought I was done for the day, but at least I'm an idiot that knows how to keep myself in check, because I had a, I don't have it with me, it's in the hotel, a itinerary with everything I needed to go do. And I forgot that after I did the $1 Million Highway, I needed to go over to Saw Pit, which is the 4th smallest town in Colorado, because it's only, 40 minutes away from here. This was the time to go. And I'm sitting in there and I'm just kind of going through, end of the day, I kind of go through and I check off everything, just kind of double check, I don't know why I was doing it. And I was like, crap, I got to go to Saw Pit. So that's what I'm doing, and it's raining. So I don't know if it's going to rain the whole time, but Saw Pit is a little bit to the west. And man, if I would have forgotten that, I would have gotten back to Kansas and been like, I don't have the 4th smallest town. What would I have done? So anyways, yeah, let's always have a plan and go back and double check it. Lesson learned. So it's 5:30, so I'm gonna get there a little after 6 and probably get back here about 7. Well, I got to Saw Pit, got my footage, and I'm heading out. What a spectacular little town. Holy moly. I'm glad that I didn't miss that one. Definitely probably going to be the most scenic. Definitely probably. That's good grammar. Getting a little loopy. It's 6:38, haven't had dinner. Been kind of one of those days. But it rained almost the whole drive here. It looks like I'm driving back into the rain. And while I was there, it didn't rain a drop. So somebody felt sorry for me. Thank you very much. Good morning. I am driving down the $1 Million Highway for the 3rd time and heading to do my video about San Juan County, which is basically driving a big part of what's called the Alpine Loop. And it's going to be a significant drive in terms of how vertical it goes and how maybe rough it is. So this is the one I've been, hypothetically circled on the calendar as the probably toughest day, and maybe it won't be what I'm making it out to be. Maybe it'll be not that bad. I know part of the drive is not bad at all. I talked to somebody yesterday about it, but I know there is going to be some difficult parts. There's only like 1 lane, and it's not because they didn't want to build a 2nd lane, because there's no room on the side of a mountain, and so after driving the $1 Million Highway, that doesn't bother me a bit. But when it's rock and gravel, and it rained yesterday, so I don't know, if that makes it an issue at all. But it should be interesting. So hopefully you'll get through this. And then I've got quite a ways to drive today, because basically the rest of the trip is just going to some of the smallest towns. I have 6 left, some of the 10 smallest towns, and then a couple of small town downtown places. We're getting close to the end after today, and so but there's a long drive from the end of this trip today to where I need to go tomorrow, and so I don't even have a hotel booked, because I just don't know how long this is going to take. It could take a couple hours, it could take all day, so we'll see. But I'm excited a little bit, not I wouldn't say nervous, but just a little bit curious as to what's ahead of me today. It started hailing. Well, it was quite a day, pretty tired, and got a long way to go. Well, a little ways, 128 miles is where I'm going to stop tonight in Alamosa. And it's because I'm trying to get to Starkville tomorrow, which is one of the 10 smallest towns, and I wanted to go to almost to Walsenburg, but there's no hotels or nothing available as I looked. So Alamosa, it's maybe 70 miles or so from where I got to go tomorrow. I don't know, something like that. I'm kind of tired. That was a crazy day of driving through the mountains in San Juan County, Colorado. So when I got to the California Pass, the peak, that was incredible. That was all worth it. And so I get it when people hike, and well, I guess I don't really get it because I don't do that stuff, but I get it when people see something like that at the top and they're like, just have this feeling, because the driving was incredibly difficult. Maybe the most difficult driving I've ever done, and I've done a lot of driving, and doing that up to the top there, 13,000 feet, and rocky roads, not worrying about getting flat tire the whole way. Put a few more gray hairs on my chin, I think. So anyways, yeah, we're just gonna cruise through. Maybe we'll stop at a town or two on the way, just as like a small town downtown here and there, but other than that, got to get to the hotel and get some rest. I just hit the GPS to get me to my hotel in Alamosa, and it's a heck of a scenic drive. Highway 160, pretty awesome. Up bright and early this morning, and the sun there in the east as it's rose. is in my face. So it's only 6:51 and I'm already heading towards my first destination, and gassed up, and it was nice. Gas was under $4. So it's the first time it's been under $4. The mountain towns, it's expensive. But the reason I'm up so early is motivation. I got a lot of places to go today, and I'm heading back towards Kansas. This might be my last day on the road. Depends on how long some of these, how long it takes to go some of these towns. And it's almost 2 hours to get to the first one. I would have driven farther last night, but there weren't a lot of hotels past Alamosa, and I was tired too. So that's the reason I ended up, stopping there and still having about an hour and 50 to go to Starkville, which is the first town. I've got 6 of the 10 smallest towns left, and it'll be interesting if I do them all today, because I don't usually do that many in one day, but they're all kind of in the southeastern part of the state. So that's what we're doing. We're also going to pick up a couple of small town, downtown places for that video. We have 8 so far. I need to get 2 more. And then depending on where I'm at, I might head back to Wichita, or I might, if I don't get all the way done, I might stop and finish it up tomorrow. So we'll just have to wait and see. Well, that's the end of my trip in Colorado. I'm greeted back into Kansas with a bunch of wind. Actually, it's super windy in Colorado all day today. But what a trip. That was a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes stuff. It's hard to film the behind the scenes stuff because, I'm filming like 9 other videos at the same time. So sometimes I forget what I said in which video. So if there's something else you'd like to see, or something, more detailed or less detailed, let me know in the comments. I'll probably do this again in the future. And next state I'm deciding I think I'm going to do is maybe South Dakota in a month or so. So if you like this, I'll have some more of that coming up in the future. Colorado was great. A little pricey in some places of where I went because of the kind of remoteness. And so Colorado's great if you got the wallet for it. If not, I barely do right now, but if not, Western Kansas, Northwest Arkansas, places like that, you can still see some really cool stuff. But Colorado is great. They also have great signs, welcome to Colorado. They're kicking Kansas's butt. They got just a little sign over there that says welcome to Kansas. So great job, Colorado. And next time I will see you down a back road.